recapping that, man. Right now, we're finna talk about everything that went down during Diddy's week, man. Diddy last week case. Man, this case is going crazy. I don't know where to go. One moment I'm saying this man guilty of DV. Next moment is, I think they got him for racketeering. He going for the 20.
Because you know what they say.
What?
Everybody know ain't no party like a Diddy party, so.
Yeah, that's what's up. Yeah.
Shout out LeBron.
Man, this Diddy party is crazy, man. It looks like they finally released all the photos from the Diddy party. The first with all I'm gonna tell you everybody that went up on the stands, man. The first person that went up was with Gerald Gannon. He was Homeland Security. He basically was one of the people that basically went through one of the Diddy's raid houses and basically took pictures of everything that was there. It was spick and span. One thing we did find out is that, when they did drop the videos.
The Diddy makes a mess, he always gets it clean.
No, not that. And it's actually not in the hotel rooms. It's the actual house, the mansion. Remember how they showed the mansion, how they came, the police raided the mansion and they had like all the bottles of Baby Yoda everywhere, like glass casings and all that?
Yes, ma'am.
Turns out that was fake. It was only really 31 bottles of Baby Yoda there. Also, they
like
still
30 is still a normal amount.
Hey, it's better than 100. Over 1,000.
That's because he was, you know what it was? He
What?
probably gets it from Costco where you get like 100
Mhm.
and he was just down to 30.
It was like buy one, get one free. Buy 30, you get 40 free. And it's 100. One of those type of situations. But so they showed the baby bottles. They showed high heel shoes. They showed that, Diddy had a lot of basically non-slip work boots. He was diabolical. He knew it was going to get slippery, and he had to get the non-slip work boots.
Comment down, are you team socks or no socks?
No socks. Nah, but they showed basically cases of drugs and mushrooms he had different type of paraphernalia.
He had like a free kit, like
basically a free
everything
kit.
to get people in the mood and accessories.
Yeah,
basically everything you would find at like one of those novelty XXX stores.
Exactly. So that's basically what he had. When Diddy's defense came up, they didn't really ask him that many questions because the feds really didn't mess up on this case. Well, it's looking like the feds really didn't mess up.
Like, did you find Demon Diddy?
That's what we're gonna get to that part soon. It looks like the feds didn't mess up. They really dotted their T's, crossed their I's. Anytime they had to ask for warrants and subpoenas for certain things, they did that. So they didn't want to mess up because how a lot of in Chicago, how a lot of people like, oh yeah, I beat the case, but what happened? Like, oh yeah, they didn't read Miranda rights. They just beat my ass.
Oh yeah.
So it's like one of those type of
They
situations.
find one thing that they lied on, so the whole case gets thrown out.
Yeah,
or didn't do.
Or how you be like, oh yeah, as soon as they realized that it was a celebrity that was the person that was in question, like the police heard and jumped to a situation. They didn't do anything right.
Yeah,
they just wanted to get the victim.
Or they caught him with stuff, but the warrant hadn't come through yet.
Yeah.
So the warrant time was 2 hours after the arrest time.
Mm-hmm.
So they're like, you didn't have a warrant at the time, so this was an illegal search and seizure.
Mm-hmm.
So then it's the whole thing has to be thrown out because you didn't technically follow the rules.
Exactly. So you had that situation happen. So they basically want to show that Diddy has these basically equipments everywhere he goes. Then the next person that went on stand was basically the clinical forensic psychologist named Don Hughes. She just wanted to go up there and basically let people know what basically trauma that Cassie was going through. She was basically saying why she didn't leave, because everybody was saying Cassie's not a victim, she's not a victim, she's been up for more than 10 years. It's you know some of the stuff you had to do. But
they say, how is she saying she was such a victim when she never left in over a decade? But people were saying, he probably made her think that she couldn't leave.
Exactly. He probably made her think she couldn't leave. He used scare tactics. The therapist basically went up there and said the different phases of basically trauma they go through when they being domestic DV'd. They talk about how it starts off with love bombing, and then a situation happens and a person attack. The man attacks you. The lady always said man, and that was one thing the defense always tried the defense keyed on is every time you talked, you always talked about it as if the woman's basically the one being attacked. You never talk about it as if the man being attacked. And then also they went down the rabbit hole of how the
That was
defense
Diddy's defense.
and like basically the defense team on Diddy's side was basically trying to attack her accreditation, saying like,
Her credibility.
yeah, you've been doing this for 20 years. You've never been on the side of a man. You've even also doing basically what's conventions, always talking about.
Well, didn't they have all kinds of messages of her basically even asking for freak offs sometimes and stuff?
Yeah, but I mean that basically the therapist.
But they said that she was always scared of losing him.
Exactly. So the therapist is basically saying like she was only doing that to please Diddy, because she didn't want anything bad to happen, and that
For sure.
all that trauma happened. But Diddy's team came up and they basically destroyed that out the water. That's what happened with her. And then the next person came up was one of Diddy's former assistants, and he basically just came up there to prove that. Diddy made him work. Diddy made him work crazy hours, made him go. Sometimes he went home at like 4 p.m., had to get back up like at 9 p.m., make sure Diddy knew basically everything that happened to him, everything that happened that day. Like anything that bad that happened, this man had to know about it. Had to make sure Diddy clothes was out.
You meant like 4 a.m. and then have to get up at 9?
Yeah, he went to sleep at at 4 a.m., had to be like, oh no, he had to be there at 9. He had to be there, and Diddy had to be there and be ready by like 9:30.
Yeah, that's crazy.
And he basically him. He also got all the equipment. He got all the Diddy drugs and everything. He talked about that. He talked about also how he didn't want to testify because you found out in this court case that a lot of people here are people that would have been charged with Diddy, but they basically signed what's it called, the form of basically finna snitch.
Oh yeah. They take like a plea deal.
Immunity. They
get immunity on a plea deal.
Yeah, immunity on a plea deal. So basically, they're snitching. A lot of them don't want to testify.
They all take the Daniel Hernandez bargain.
But they're not giving all of it up. They're not giving up all the details. They just giving up some of the details. But they're giving up everything that they need to do to form the racketeering case. Because with racketeering, you only have to prove at least 2 out of everything. So you either have to choose like kidnapping, arson, basically forced labor, and trafficking. So the forced labor is basically every assistant they bring up is going to talk about how
they work crazy.
But if you think about it, if you look, but what I don't understand is how when you know about Hollywood lifestyle and the people that like not even Hollywood lifestyle, like the people that like make it to like billions of dollars, they only get like 4 hours of sleep.
Yeah, and like the agents and all that.
Yeah, like
they work like all the time.
Exactly.
If they need to make a call at 2 a.m, 3 a.m, they do it. They have a client calling them, say that they're messed up and they need assistance. They're gonna get them some help.
Exactly. So like that's why I just didn't understand. Like when you sign up for the job, you finna be doing crazy hours, but I understand that's still against the law. And then they're saying like, oh yeah, they weren't paid the right amount of money.
So trying to Charleston White them.
Yeah, it's like trying to Charleston White them. Like so basically trying to Charleston White them. They doing that. But I mean, they're showing that it is labor law. So they're basically forming the whole RICO. Like they're not saying oh yeah, you racketeer, like you got everybody here, but they're saying like you broke these basically key terms, and if you look at those key terms, that's all under racketeering. So that's what they're trying to show. And they did show it there. And then moving on to Kid Cudi. Of course, Kid Cudi finally came up. We got Kid Cudi finally came up. We got the video right here of Kid Cudi entering the court. Then we got Kid Cudi basically telling his side of the story. We're going to play all that, then come back and let you know what Young Thug had to say about this situation.
New witnesses, darker revelations.
I think they are building the case.
Week 2, we saw the evidence in the Diddy trial up close. The baby oil, the drugs, the stripper heels. Kid Cudi's burnt up pork.
Wow.
Hey guys, so I just want to say, man, I've been seeing all the love and support, and I just want to say thank you so much, man. People have been hitting me up the past week, just checking in, and even today, and it really means a lot to me, man. You guys are the best. I love y'all. This is a stressful situation. I'm glad it's behind me, and yeah, I love y'all, man. Big love. Go stream Neverland.
Cudi, did he do it? Did you meet Cassie? You did your thing in here, boy. Yo, Cudi, I got a
Did you meet Cassie at a Diddy freak off? Damn, Cudi a rat.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my god.
So you're seeing celebrities like Young Thug and Kanye West basically mentioning Kid Cudi and the whole court situation. But I mean, the Kid Cudi,
But Cudi already fell off, and
what?
you know, he was weird.
Yeah, but
Yeah, like he was wearing dresses and stuff for a while.
kilt and
Remember
all
he was
that,
doing
yeah.
all that? Yeah.
I remember he had that whole situation. So when Kid Cudi did all that stuff, he had the Day and Night song going out, or he had the Pursuit of Happiness song going out. So those songs was fire. You couldn't deny that everybody was remixing Day and Night.
Yeah. No, I definitely liked his early career. I liked his first 2 albums, and then after that, I would like maybe a couple songs on each of his albums after that. But to me, it was never the same. To me, his first mixtape and then his first CD are his 2 best pieces of work.
True.
And yeah, I don't know. He was never the same after that because he was like a normal dude at that point. And then it was after that point he kept on getting like more and more experimental with his music, and that's when he started wearing dresses and
the drugs, man. He started doing them drugs,
doing a lot of drugs and being crazy. But that is crazy that Young Thug is like, damn, Cudi a rat, because they were just making fun of what's his name, Gunna for getting the YSL tat removed off,
exactly,
or covered up. Excuse me.
Exactly. So with this whole Kid Cudi situation, so let me tell you both sides. So Kid Cudi came to the stand. He was talking about the whole situation, how how he knew Cassie, how Diddy put him on with Cassie, how they were supposed to be making music, but then later on they ended up talking and dating and messing around. He went to a family house for the holidays also. He talks about that. Then he talks about how it basically just turned around and changed. How one day Cassie called him and was like, "Oh, she's scared. Diddy's gonna come and get him." He's like, "What do you mean Diddy's gonna come and get me?" She's like, "Oh, I gave Diddy your address." And then he was like,
"Why would she do that?"
Exactly, that's what he said. Why would you do that? And then that's when he ended up finding out.
He's snitching because she snitched on him.
I mean, hey, and so
she dropped his low.
Exactly, she dropped his low, gave it to him. So he went to go pick her up. And then he took her to a hotel so she can be safe. And then while this is all going down, he's trying to figure out what's going on. That's when he finds out that, that she's been calling Kid Cudi on the burner phone. It's not even her real phone. And that she's also been talking to Diddy at the same time, but he didn't know. He thought it was just whatever. And then that's when later on, that's when he finds out that Diddy ends up going to his house. One of the Diddy's assistants, employees ends up calling them and saying that, "Hey, you need to come to your house. Diddy's at your house." Kid Cudi ends up going to his house. Guess what? Diddy not there, but he goes in the house, finds out his dog is locked in the bathroom. All his gifts that he got his parents and his family members for Christmas is all stretched out on the table.
Oh yeah, and they said like the dog was traumatized. That it's like never acted the same since. It was locked in the bathroom and it's like eternally scared. So I don't know if Diddy the dog, but it's really scary. I don't know. I hate Diddy. I always feel like that it turned out he didn't, but he could have possibly had something to do with Tupac. But I actually think where he's more at blame is I think he ended up getting Biggie out of the way.
True.
I think he might have had something to do with that. I don't know. Because when they looked at it, supposedly it was Tupac had some California stuff going on when he got taken out. And did they ever say who got Biggie? I don't think the West Coast ever claimed it.
Oh no, yeah. No, I mean, yeah, nobody ever really claimed who did that situation.
If people get the ops, they'll claim it, even if it's low key on the low, where there's no way they could get arrested for it. They'll do even like subliminal emojis.
True.
But there was like none of that.
I mean,
there wasn't emojis.
I got to do some research in that, see what happened to the whole Biggie murder mystery. But I mean, that was a crazy situation. A lot of people are mad that none of that information is coming up in this whole court case. That's what I'm saying. Like, this case is kind of boring. It's a DV case because they want to see like the real stuff. You want to see Justin Bieber getting power drive. You want to see.
Whoa, hold on.
Why are you gay?
Who says I'm gay?
You are gay.
You are gay.
Horrible.
That is wild, Coast.
They want to see all that.
You want to see the Justin Bieber Diddy Usher sandwich?
I mean,
that's what you're telling us? That you want the ultimate freak party videos, that you hoping that you get Dwight Howard to join the club?
I'm trying to see what made Meek Mill eat the French fries out of his lap at the pool. I'm just saying, it had to be something good.
I heard you eat French fries out of laps.
Nah, that's disgusting.
You're not a dream chaser.
Yeah, people mad. You're fairy. Nah, but people are mad about that. The whole Tupac murder situation. People are mad about like that information didn't come out. people also mad about the whole the freak off. Like you see all these lawsuits going on. You seeing Jay-Z in these names, these lawsuits, Drewski in the lawsuits. Like you ain't seeing no videos of that. People want to see that stuff.
Well, yeah, because
like
a lot of celebrities. I mean, for years, even when like social media like wasn't really the same, when it was like kind of like shows on MTV that showed the celebrity life, they always would even have like sometimes the Diddy parties and show that like they wouldn't really show it. They would maybe show people showing up, but it would be like all the celebrities, like literally all the A-list parties to go. And remember, he had the white party. He had the OG white party, right? Because Michael Rubin has a white party now, but Diddy was the originator of that, right?
And you know what's funny about that? They're trying to crucify Diddy and saying he throws his crazy parties to where like when ambulance and the paramedics have to be camped out outside, and
they're like on site.
They're on site, or like they have to get the IV drip. And I'm like, I thought Michael Rubin and them always did that. He said it in the article. Like that's on the norm. Like that's the Hollywood thing to do, and that's what they don't want to do. They don't want to show all this stuff and get people to get to thinking like this is just normal Hollywood weird stuff.
Well, it's crazy because people always see like the Roman times back in the day, and those. I mean, they used to have real freak offs. I mean, probably I don't know if Diddy's freak offs got that bad.
It did.
Hopefully they didn't, because the Romans freak offs would involve everybody of every age, and I mean, it was ridiculous. I mean, if you've ever watched like some of the old Gladiator TV shows,
exactly,
they were like unforgivable, and it's crazy because you think that we as a society have matured beyond that, but then you see these celebrities and all these stories come out, and it's like that's like the same thing as being like one of the wealthy Romans, and they're still doing these freak offs. It's like the freak offs never stop.
Exactly. It's like the freak offs never stop. And just like I told you with the lady that they ended up calling Kid Cudi and saying, "Oh yeah, Diddy's at your house." That situation right there, they're trying to label that under the whole kidnapping charge. We'll talk about it on the next episode. And then the whole arson thing, they're trying to say with the arson, they're trying to say that Kid Cudi, after the whole Diddy situation happened, how he ended up seeing Diddy. He says when he's walked up to Diddy, he's seen Diddy as a super villain. Because Diddy was
super villain.
Basically, because Diddy was looking all stoic, not saying any, keeping it all cool, keeping it all calm, like he don't know what's going on.
Hey, he said, remember when he was the Joker and freaked everyone out?
Exactly,
because he was like all off the perks and he had a full Joker paint up, and he was out there in the streets with like a fake Tommy gun.
Diddy's crazy. Exactly. So he said he went. So basically he said he met Diddy at a restaurant. When he met Diddy at the restaurant,
Cudi?
Yeah, Cudi.
For what?
To talk about the situation, because he said he can't
man to man.
He talked man to man about you broke into my house. What's going on with my dog? And he said the whole situation about the break into the house. Kid Cudi has cameras, but none of the cameras show Diddy in the house. The cameras were pointed down.
Oh wow.
So you have that situation.
That's Diddy powers.
Then on top of that, Kid Cudi goes to meet Diddy to talk about the situation. Diddy's all cool and calm. He ain't saying nothing. Then a few minutes later, Cassie pull up. This situation just happened. You would think Cassie came up with the Kid Cudi, but no, she walks up to Diddy, kisses Diddy, and be like, I mean, me and Diddy got history. And then,
man, these industry blunts is wild.
Exactly. So you have that situation. Then a couple of weeks after that, Kid Cudi's like he was out. His nanny for his pet basically calls him and says that his car is on fire. His car is on fire. He drives all the way to his home to see the car. His friend calls him and verifies, yeah, your car is on fire. It was a Molotov cocktail bomb basically thrown in the driver's side of his car. Somebody cut it open. They threw it in the driver's side. And then Diddy's defense team said that, oh yeah, Kid Cudi, did you know that the DNA was tested on the bomb? And he was like, nah, I didn't know. So what happened? He's like, it was girl DNA on it. And then that's when the prosecuting team.
So they said it was Cassie.
They said it was girl DNA. That's when the other teams. The other.
I mean, she's there. They should be able to get a sample.
She's gone. It could, but okay. What the feds basically said was that it was inconclusive. It was not enough to say it was a girl, but it is enough to say it was a girl. And then that's what Diddy's team's trying to throw that whole the arson thing out, because it's all he say. Nobody got video evidence of it. It shows female DNA on it. Judge is trying to throw the thing out. Why are you trying to throw the thing out? If you throw the thing out,
sometimes you just gotta throw the thing out.
Nah, you can't throw the thing out. I say end up like Diddy. But yeah, so basically, like I said, I feel like this whole situation in a nutshell, I feel like Diddy may be cooked, because out of all these charges here, you just gotta prove two. You just gotta prove too. I mean, the kidnapping, he may beat that. The arson, he may beat that. But the forced labor laws, he got everybody saying they're working over 100 hours. That's forced labor.
Mm-hmm. I'm definitely looking into that. Definitely gotta check out. Definitely gotta check out those rules.
You gotta check out those rules.
Check out them rules. Let's see what we're working with.
This is it, man. Also, man, and then on top of that, the trafficking part. I mean, you see all the male performers coming there saying like, "Oh yeah, even though Cassie paid me, we still went there and did it." You know, sometimes we drove out of town. That's you know.
What do they mean? What do you mean by this? We still went there and did it?
We still went to the. I mean, they still went to the party and had sex with Cassie. But the thing with me is that I don't understand. The thing that I don't understand is the fact that a lot of them are saying, yeah, Cassie paid me, but I would have did this for free. It was times where I just wanted to hang out.
They weren't paying me for my time. They were paying for me to get there.
Basically, or like it was,
and the experience was mine.
Or like sometimes they say they'll come over there and then like they'll be sitting there chilling on the couch and then like nothing end up happening and then they still get paid. So it was like sometimes they didn't get paid, sometimes they did get paid. They said they accepted it. Then on top of that, these are all consenting adults. Ain't no M. They all over the age of 25. It's like and a lot of them are saying like they weren't drugged. They're saying like, oh yeah, did Diddy ever beat you up or make you do anything? And the most they're saying is like, Diddy rubbed my nut on his nipples.
You know, I'm definitely when we make it big, start and get our first big time contract. I'm definitely when you fall asleep, let's just say you might be Apple tagged.
That's disgusting.
So that way, if you get lost, you can always be found.
What?
I could imagine. It's going to be like one of those situations where you're moving through a crowd and I'm going to look back and be, where are my co-hosts? And then it's going to be like, he's at some party. He's at some celebrity party.
I don't even know what
he's hanging out with Bruce Willis. And I'm like, nah, I already thought of this. We got a tracker.
Oh, Lord, disgusting. That's horrible, disgusting.
Me and Seth will save you.
Disgusting. But y'all comment down below how y'all feel about the Diddy case so far. I mean, they're saying right now Cassie is in labor. She was due to give birth to a kid the first week of June anyway. So she's on schedule. Hopefully she gives birth to a healthy baby. What if she nicknamed the kid Diddy? You don't think so?
Then we're living, and definitely this world is a simulation. 100% confirmed that happens. We are living in a simulation. She sued Diddy and none of this is real.
She sued Diddy for $20 million. She take him to jail for 20 years. Then she named the kid Sean as a middle name.
Sean D.
Hey, yo. That's horrible.
Sean Diddle.
That's disgusting. But this word is an artificial simulation, like my co-host said. But speaking of more...
Did you say artificial insemination?
Hey, yo. This ain't iRobot. Nah, but speaking of iRobot...
I was going to ask you a question. What level of fandom would you want to reach? If we were able to get like ridiculously famous at one point, would you want to be like Theo Von famous or like Joe Rogan famous? Or you want to be Charlemagne famous? You want to be Brad Pitt famous? You want to be Jay-Z famous? Beyonce famous? Lady Gaga famous? What level of famous?
I want to be.
What celebrity equivalent famous would you want to be?
Bill Cosby. It was pretty. Everybody know Bill Cosby.
You see why I have to have a tracker?
What?
It's not only for his safety, it's for yours.
This ain't no infomercial. What the hell?
Yes, it is.
Horrible.
Elon already got the hookup. Because the first option was for you to fall asleep and then see how far we could get the Apple tag.
Disgusting. But y'all comment down below how y'all feel about this whole Diddy case. Do you feel like Diddy got a chance? Do you feel like it's still DV, or is it strictly he going down for the racketeering charge?
Let's just go ahead and give him life sentence and get this over with.
No, we gonna hope that. I mean, I feel like he finna get charged, and then Trump finna pardon him and be like,
nah. Give him
4 years is enough.
Give him 30, make him do 15.
I mean, it said it is crazy that Suge Knight is locked up right now and Diddy's locked up.
Yeah, wait, how old is Diddy?
Diddy's like in his late 50s, 60 or something.
You want to ask your phone? What's your phone?
I don't.
I'm looking it up. Go ahead.
Yeah, they saying Diddy like.
Hey Siri, how old is Diddy?
The phone don't even care.
Hey Siri, how old is P Diddy?
Don't even care. Look at that.
Sean Combs
told you.
He's 55, baby.
Why did you think you have a British accent?
Because it's fun. Because it's not funny.
He's a fucking goofy. Horrible.
55, yeah.
Nah, yeah, he is up there. But y'all comment down below how y'all feel.
Let him out when he's keep him till he's 75.
Just give him 20.
So that way he has
20.
like he has like 5 years to live.
He's too rich.
I don't think Diddy's living past 80.
Listen, yeah, R. Kelly would have been out.
I mean, he's a billionaire. He might end up like Futurama and put his head in a jar. Comment down below. Would you rather have your head put in a jar or have a digital copy